Hi Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a general reading for July 8th to the 16th. I did the first 6 signs yesterday and I pulled cards according to the aspects, but I wasn't vibing the reading. I can't explain it, so you know, I do this sometimes. I'm going to be working in the aspects. I'm going to actually post a post about the aspects that we're going to be dealing with, just so you guys have it. Let's get right into this. Let's pull a crowning energy, an astrological crowning energy for you guys. Let's see what we got. Libra, balance. Very nice. I like that for you guys. Good. So let's put that there and let's pull some cards for the beginning of this week, for the beginning of that week, middle of the week, some challenges you guys might be dealing with, and then a final outcome for the energies there. Yeah. So we have a couple of things going on. We have Venus in Cancer square Chiron in Aries, and Venus in Cancer sextile Uranus and Taurus on the 8th. And then we have Mercury in Leo conjunct Mars in Leo. That's also on the 8th. So we have, it's like good, bad. You know, whenever we have a square, you always want to think challenging. Whenever we have conjunct, you want to think empowering. So, and whenever you hear sextile, think about opportunity. So even just that first day of the week is going to be very much a mixed bag, where you might be feeling challenged in love and self-esteem and money, but at the same time, you're going to feel like having a good time, and you're going to feel this creative energy, and then at the same time you're going to feel pulled in 2 different ways, you know, between your inner and outer worlds. Well, that's more going into the 9th. That has to do with the Sun in Cancer opposing Saturn in Capricorn, but that's the energy we're going to be feeling. It's a mixed bag. We're going to feel these challenges, and then we're going to be like, oh, but I want to have a good time, you know, I'm feeling very creative and I want to like hang out with my friends, but then you're going to feel very pulled between the stuff you have to do in your life and the stuff you want to do in your life. So it'll be an interesting mixed bag. So let's see what cards we pull for you guys, at least for that beginning into the middle of the week. And then we'll talk. Okay, it's a good way to start. Queen of Pentacles. I like it. Okay. 5 of Cups. The Emperor reverse. Okay. 2 of Wands. Good. Empress. Very nice. Ooh, Chariot. There's movement here. Movement. Queen of Cups. This is going to be your challenge position. So we have the Queen of Cups reverse, 6 of Cups reverse, Queen of Wands reverse. Okay. 9 of Swords reverse in your outcome. Ooh, but then we have the Lovers. I do like that. And the 2 of Cups. Okay, I like this outcome. This outcome is great. And even if you guys have nothing to do with relationships, those relationship cards can apply to career as well, guys. So yeah, I do like it. Good, good, good. All right, so let's deal with this Libra energy first, because Libra's all about balance, right? I mean, this, and Libra rules the 7th house of partners in marriage. So those influenced by this are going to end up, because this is a crowning energy. So this is basically going to veil the whole energy, and it's going to support whatever's going to come to fruition out of whatever's planted this week. So this is really beautiful. Absolutely. Libra is, again, all about balance. And when this turns up, you know, you're riding the fence about something, though, Sagittarius. I'm getting that you're riding the fence over something that you need to, there's a decision that you need to make very soon, and you're very confused about something you need to decide. And if you don't make your decision, it's going to be made for you. That's the thing here, especially with this eclipse energy going on. It's going to be made for you. All right, so something to keep in mind. The potential for you not liking the ending and that outcome, if it's made for you, is pretty high. So this is something you really want to think about. This is a favorable energy for romance and relationships, because it indicates a time where relationships are turning happier and more content. And it can also be the deepening of one that you're in right now, or you starting a new successful one, which I could tell right now the outcome does support that. So let's see what the story is going to be getting from here to there. Right now, everything really does need to be fair and balanced in this energy. So it's important not to sacrifice your own feelings or desires simply because you're looking to avoid any kind of conflict. So if you feel like you're in the middle of the road about something, you know, stay there, because that is actually the smartest approach in this energy. It's probably the right one, to just kind of stay neutral about something. This card does definitely represent I said like a deepening of relationship, but it can, for many of you, it can be even more than that. This can be like an engagement, marriage, like serious deepening, where relationships are about to level up and become far more serious. Feelings are maturing at this time right now, for sure. Happiness is achieved when you pull your resources together with someone else. And even though that might not always be very easy, right, guys? It's not always easy to do that, to pool our resources with someone. So a lot of communication is going to be necessary for that one. But achievement in this area is found when you find the right person who mirrors your own ideals and beliefs. And all that matters, worked on really from a very sincere perspective. Now the challenge is going to be if you're dealing with somebody who is not properly aligned with you in that way. Because we can date somebody forever, and if we live separate from them and everything is always separate, it's very easy to keep that wall, that emotional wall of delineation between us and them. But once you're leveling up and you're making those decisions to, it doesn't even have to be to get engaged, to get married, but to move in together or to just become more enmeshed in each other's lives in that way, that's where it can become challenging if you approach finances from a different way or if you're not completely on the same page with things. So let's see how this ends up playing out in this energy, because this does want to tell you it really is all about balance right now, okay? So let's start. We're going to start with this week here. The 8th, we have this Queen of Pentacles energy, Sagittarius and Capricorn energy, and this is you being patient. You're either going to be very supportive for someone or you're going to be receiving a lot of practical support right now. And you're going to be very tuned into your wisdom. And this energy can show, yeah, this is another one about marriage and money coming to a couple. Right, so there is this idea of there being a union and like a marriage, a marrying up anyway of energies. This is also a great card for good health, fantastic sex life, fertility and children for those of you who are in that space and time in your life, if you're looking for that. If you're not, be careful. But this is a beautiful energy to start the week with, yeah, for sure. And then we have the 5 of Cups energy. This is Mars and Scorpio, and this indicates upset and loss, okay? Now, this typically indicates sadness and confusion due to a breakup, a disappointment, or an argument in a close friendship with the need to temporarily move away. And this could even be from a family member who has hurt you. Like you need to love someone from a distance, as they say, right? This can also apply to leaving a job or a home before you felt fully ready to do so, but you're being forced to deal with whatever life throws at you, whether you want to or not, which can be a little uncomfortable and a little emotional as well. So this can also refer to a change in your status, socially or financially, but whatever it is that you're feeling this loss about, guys, just know that there's no going back to the way it was, okay? And that you're going to be able to move onward and upward regardless of whatever this was. Because remember, you have these 2 cups standing. They're still standing right behind you. So many of you may be revisiting the past right now, trying to assimilate all the stress and sorrow that you feel from this energy as a way of moving forward to make a fresh start. Now, so if that's the case, this movement that I'm talking about is happening for many of you very much internally. You know, maybe not so much externally. Okay? And I don't know, were you dealing with an Emperor in reverse? This is an Aries energy with a link to the Death card. And the death is endings, right? But the death can also be, there's a I can't say it, the ability to regenerate a relationship, where the death could just be of the way the relationship had been up to this point, and something needed to change, something needed to transform. And of course it did, because we're in the eclipse season and there's change everywhere. But the Emperor reverse, this is about somebody who is power hungry and very excessive in his demands. And I'm saying him, but you guys know it's not gender specific. It could easily be a female. But very excessive in his demands, represents all those negative traits typically associated with masculinity, such as being dominating and controlling and even cruel. But and I'm gonna say this with caution. This can indicate you dealing with a narcissist in your life. I'm very careful about using this word because it's thrown around so much. But in tarot, the Emperor reverse really does typically indicate that kind of sensibility where there's this element of not only greed, right? So like the upright Emperor understands boundaries. The reverse Emperor doesn't care about boundaries. It's like, doesn't even register with them at all. They don't know where to draw the line. Typically, there's excessive force or use it to get whatever they want. So if they need to persuade you or to try to get you to act a certain way, do a certain thing, they're going to do whatever they need to do to get their way. So this really does indicate you dealing with somebody who's very domineering, very driven, and entrenched in their ego. So this is the beginning of the week. And again, like I mentioned before, we have that Venus and Cancer square Chiron, and then Aries and Venus and Cancer sextile Uranus and Taurus. So these aspects on July 8th, along with this Mars and Leo and Mercury and Leo conjunct, there's going to be this where challenges in love and self-esteem and money. But then there's going to be this element of feeling brave and kind of wanting to have a good time in there, right? So we feel like we're starting out with that, right? That Mars like feeling in your, in your Queen of Pentacles energy, in your Queen of Pentacles mode. But then we have these squares that are going on that are creating a lot of tension for you, right? Because those squares are always about challenge, right? Always about challenge. Sextile is about opportunity, and then we have the conjunct is always about empowerment, okay? So now let's move on to the middle of the week where we do have an opposition, but then we have a trine. We have Sun in Cancer opposing Saturn in Capricorn, where you might feel a little bit like your inner and outer world are at odds with each other. But then at the same time, we have Sun in Cancer, trine Neptune and Pisces, which is all about blessings from your intuition being really strong at this time, and a lot of beautiful synchronicities happening. So let's see what's going on here. We have the Two of Wands. Okay, starting at the middle of your week. So this is a Mars and Aries energy, and it shows you making plans and moving forward. Many of you on a mundane level, this could even be travel arrangements is one meaning of this card, but in work, you're gaining influence, improving your worth, and in return, you're going to be receiving some really good support and advice at this time. This is a card that can also show new creative partnerships and the beginning of something new at work that's going to be very successful. Now, the two here indicates two aspects of a situation, right? It looks like he's thinking about everything in here, right? It's like you're needing to consider and decide between two things. So the advice here is to consider what helps you most on your path, and then consider what issues hold you back. And make a plan that maximizes your talents, so that you can move forward doing what really speaks to you. For many of you, this does indicate a new romantic partnership, typically found through mutual friends or work. But overall, great opportunities on the way, allowing you to move up a level. So make the most of anything that's offered to you at this time, because this does indicate that your star is rising. So I do really like that. That's like very much with that trine energy. I do really like that. Then we have the Empress. Beautiful. This is Venus energy. And the gifts of this energy are abundance and material comfort, sensuality, security, emotional support. This is really an auspicious energy for children and families, showing harmony at home. So if you're hoping to begin a family, again, this is a beautiful energy for you. Those Sagittarius who want to try to start a family, awesome, awesome energy. For those of you who don't, be careful, okay? But this is about happiness and relationships. And if you're single, this indicates a great time to begin a relationship. Very harmonious time all around. Feeling very secure with your money, with work. Beautiful, beautiful midweek energy. And I feel, Sag, like this is you just very much staying in your own space, not allowing yourself to get inflected by any potential bullshit that's going on around you. Like I get a very focused energy here, which is great. And we have the Chariot associated with Cancer and the Tower card Which is two such interesting energies, right, to be associated with the car, because Cancer is about home and family and love and mother and all those things, and the Tower is about endings and the need to really kind of rebuild something. It's the breakdown of false ideas, right? So the upright Chariot signifies success and a major departure. Okay, so this is a time for determination and focus as you travel in a new direction in your life, Sag. A decision is made now, and you can begin to experience some really great progress in your life. Ready to take control, ready to navigate your own path. Not that you guys never aren't, right? I mean, you guys are always looking to move and just do your thing and be you. That's I love Sagittarius. Some of my closest friends are Sagittariuses. But you're just ready to learn as your life is rapidly expanding. And this is very exciting for you. Now, for some of you, I do have to say that this can mean the ending of a relationship that's no longer serving you. And you're continuing on your path alone. And I realize it sounds like I'm sort of injecting that in out of nowhere, but there's so much positive here that if something is ending, it really needed to end, regardless of how painful it is. And you're going to soon see that, because regardless here, there's a lot of swift progress and opportunities coming your way that are going to be very challenging and really exciting. And your other relationships in your life are going to be progressing at a pace. And this indicates that whatever path you end up on as a result of this time is your rightful path. It's exactly where you're supposed to be going, which is great. Like, that's something, isn't that something that we all want to know? Like, is what I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing? It's like one of the biggest questions in our life, right, that we ask. Now, starting off the challenges, we have the Queen of Cups reverse, which is a Gemini and Cancer energy. And in reverse, it shows you suffering emotional or financial pressure as a challenge. So this is kind of like, when I say challenge, this is like this very definitive undertone of the week. So the good stuff is happening, but this is happening under the surface, or maybe not so under the surface. So there can be jealousy in a relationship here. Most negatively, this card can show that someone has obsessive tendencies. You might be dealing with somebody who competes for attention, needs to have their own way all the time, very draining to those around her. Again, no gender specific. I'm just saying her because it's the Queen. So try not to enable that energy, because this person really is not somebody who, at the end of the day, is anyone who can commit in a really healthy way or even contribute financially in the way that you can, in a way to be a real partner to you, to help create the life that you want for yourself. In some cases, this can indicate someone who's unfaithful, or someone who just does not think about and respect you in the way that you deserve, Yeah, and then we have the Six of Cups reverse energy. It's the Sun in Scorpio. This shows me that you're feeling very nostalgic and thinking back to a time or a person or a situation with a lot more positivity than it deserves, or they deserve. And this can be you feeling left in the past as a way of avoiding moving on. Whatever relationship you're reflecting on, or whatever situation this is that you're reflecting on, needs to stay in the past. It really shouldn't be revived. As many of you are going to have unexpected visitors during this time, and communication that ends up stirring up old memories, and you're going to be like, oh my God, did I do the right thing? And oh, what about that person? And so you're going to be feeling kind of very in between worlds a little bit in this energy. So, don't throw, what do they say, lipstick on a peg. Don't throw on those rose-colored glasses on a situation that you left just because you're feeling confused, conflicted, and maybe even a little bit alone. You don't want to do that. Let those memories rest, because those people and that situation has no place in the life that you're moving into right now. So you just kind of have to know that, And then we have the Queen of Wands reverse, which is a Pisces and Aries energy. And you may feel controlled by someone or something. When this card is reversed, it's typically due to pointless interference by somebody in your business. And like, the pointless interference can be from a person, or it could actually be the weight of a job and a crazy schedule on your home life as well. There's a great need for organization, but disorder is ruling right now, and this can be very frustrating for you. And this can be because you or someone close to you who you're dealing with has taken on too much and just can't admit it. So you need to consider this and think about, you know, is this a pattern as a way of avoiding being who you are due to fear of rejection, or someone close to you, you know, the same thing. Now, if this is an external person, this can be someone who very comfortably breaks promises to you. You can be dealing with somebody who is envious, who really doesn't want anyone around them to shine more brightly than them, kind of thing. And I'm feeling this Emperor reverse energy still here. I just feel like some of you are and again, this does not have to be an intimate partner. This can be a family member, a friend, a colleague, even a boss, anybody, but somebody who is inflecting your life, who's kind of like, not even going to say raining on your parade, Sag, because I feel like you are still able to stay focused on the good stuff that's happening, even though you are absolutely feeling anxious in your outcome. Nine of Swords reverse. This is Mars and Gemini. Yeah, this is my 3 a.m. card. This is what I call it anyway, because it indicates anxiety and stress and all this stuff that wakes us up in the middle of the night, you know, where you're worrying about worrying, you know. And external events may have triggered the initial stress, but the issue now is how you're responding to it, you know. So while this does indicate anxiety in an extreme sense, because it's reverse, so the reversal just means even more extreme anxiety. The good part here about it being reverse is that it does indicate the lowest point of the cycle, and that these feelings are going to be shifting upwards. So as you gradually move out of this very difficult phase, you're going to be able to see a clearing. You're just going to feel a lot more peace, and you're going to be able to turn these feelings of powerlessness around. So just be patient and compassionate with yourself during this energy, please, and turn to others for support rather than suffering it alone. You know, it's what our friends and family are for. Unless they're the ones who are causing the stress, then of course make sure you don't turn to those people. But then we have the Lovers card, which is a Gemini energy. You know, this is about love and decision. That's what this is about, this card. This can predict meeting a new partner or a career opportunity, as I mentioned before. And, you know, whatever you choose now is going to have a very significant effect on your future. The person coming into your energy field right now is going to have a very positive influence, offers true love, honestly, provided that you follow the guidance of your heart rather than your head. As I'm getting that you're gonna need to be willing to take a little bit of a risk with this person rather than staying with a safe choice. And I feel like for those of you who resonate with this message are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. As you may soon discover a happiness that you never knew was possible. You know, so if you're in something, guys, and it's really not feeling right, I would never tell anyone to end a relationship, but really think things through, because the energy here supports you meeting somebody who's actually going to bring you what you're really looking for. And, you know, we know if we're with that person by one simple test. How often do you find yourself making excuses for the person you're with, for how they are, for why they do what they do? And those excuses are typically things that we're trying to use to cover up areas that we really don't find will serve our higher good, you know, in our life. Yeah. So, I mean, you need to be willing to take that risk and maybe not go with the safe choice. Now, if you're already in a very deeply committed relationship, this decision here is whether your partnership can be taken to even a deeper level. And, you know, or maybe you guys move in together, or you talk about getting married, or you talk about starting a family, or you talk about whatever that means to you, because it means something different to everybody. Whatever deepening a relationship means to you, okay? But here, what's great about this is whatever decision you're making here, you're making it, there's a sense of maturity to this, because you should be making this decision based on your long-term future rather than your short-term gains in any way. So in this way, you are being asked to make a very mature decision that supports your true needs. And what are true needs in a relationship, really? I think it's kind of universal, I think, at the core anyway, right? We all want respect. We all want intimacy that we resonate with, love and trust, and to connect with a partner who's actually emotionally available to us, right? Because they could have all of these wonderful things, but if they're never emotionally available in the way that we need, you know, what's the point? Because then you're always going to have that level of frustration and that feeling of lack, right, in the relationship. But Sag, I feel like you guys are going to be transitioning into something absolutely beautiful that you didn't have here, that you're ultimately going to be moving into. And I don't even mean in the week, because that's illogical, right? But something starting in this week that's bringing you to this place. We got this Two of Cups, is Venus and Cancer. This shows you focusing on your feelings and intuition, and it shows love, deeper love coming in, you know? And you deserve it. And that deep love is whatever it means to you. Because that deep kind of love, that deep, the respect and all of that stuff, it's kind of like a given that we all kind of require that if we want a healthy love. But the deeper love, that's pretty subjective, right? So whatever that means to you, there's a great connection between you and someone else where emotions are freely expressed and reciprocated, and you feel whole and content. Yeah. This predicts new love and strong passions, which may be all-consuming right now for many of you. All partnerships, though, including really great friendships, are very supported in this energy, you know? And if a certain relationship has been very difficult territory for you recently, this shows up for a very successful reconciliation where old arguments are going to be able to be resolved, where you guys are going to be able to put the past behind you, if you're both open and willing. So we can't have any of this kind of energy present if you guys are going to reconcile in a healthy way. The energy just won't support that. But for those of you who maybe are in a space of, you know, no communication, or on a little break, or maybe you broke up and you're both still really thinking heavily about each other, the energy beautifully supports a very healthy reconciliation. Again, as long as there's healthy communication. But this is great stuff, Sagittarius. You have it, because I love this balance as the crowning energy. Just beautiful, good stuff, Sag. That is what I have for you. I really like this reading. See you guys next week for the third week in July. Okay, you guys take care. Bye-bye.